Hi, welcome to the weekly Twin Flame Energy Report. This is an exclusive reading to my email subscribers, so thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate it. So this week I'm going to use the Halloween Tarot. Firstly, I'm going to look into the Divine Masculine's energies. So what is the Divine Masculine feeling about the Divine Feminine right now, please? The World in reverse. The Seven of Pentacles. The Queen of Cups in reverse. Death. And the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse as well. So the Divine Masculine is definitely taking a step back and asking themselves, what am I investing in? Am I investing in the right things, the right people? Is all the effort I'm putting into areas of my life really paying off? Is it really good for me? So the World in reverse, they're feeling as though they need to wrap up loose ends with certain things. This is unfinished business, but there needs to be a conclusion to certain aspects of their life that aren't serving them, because we also have death here as well, which is the transformation card. Death of the old in order for there to be a new beginning. And interestingly, the skeleton has the watering can, and that relates heavily to the Knight of Pentacles. That's, you know, traditionally in the fields, sowing the seeds, and this one here, you know, tending to the crops, watering the crops so they grow. So there's definitely a shift for the masculine. They're releasing things that aren't serving them. They may have been holding on tightly to their comfort zone with the Four of Pentacles, but in the reverse position, they're stepping out of their comfort zone. They're broadening their horizons in terms of taking more of a leap of faith, or just leaving things that have kept them blocked so that there's forward movement. For some of you, this World in reverse is saying that they feel there's unfinished business when it comes to you and your connection. It may have seemed as though there was a conclusion or there was an ending of your connection on some level, but they're really feeling as though there's unfinished business. They feel as though they hurt you with this Queen of Cups in reverse. They feel as though a lot of their emotions have been coming up due to this past hurt that they may have caused. There was this energy of a lot of stagnation, like they were continuing to put effort and water the wrong plants, so to speak. Some of them I'm feeling as though there's going to be a career change for them. Like there's something that needs to come to an ending. They need to reach some kind of healthy conclusion, but they're feeling difficulties in that. I feel like they're in the middle of this transition, so it's a difficult time for them. There's a lot of upheaval, and they just in general are looking at what they've been investing in. You know, they're evaluating their life and their decisions so far, and they're trying to work out what best decisions to make. Okay, so what are they currently thinking about the Divine Feminine? The Ten of Pentacles. What are they thinking in regards to the Divine Feminine, please? The Fool in reverse. feel like that one wants to come out. The Ten of Cups in reverse. And that's right below the Queen of Cups in reverse. Whoops. The Moon in reverse. What they're thinking about the Divine Feminine currently, please. The Star. And the Tower in reverse is at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, a lot of change has happened. The World, the Death card, the Tower in reverse. So I do feel some of you went through that Tower moment with the Divine Masculine, but it was a blessing in disguise. I feel like it released a lot of codependency that you may have had with each other in the past. But there was a resistance from the Divine Masculine of having that transition, of letting go, because they did have the Four of Pentacles as well, which can be possessiveness. Like some of them, they just really didn't want to let you go. And, you know, this can go both ways. And there was a comfort zone in terms of your connection and the dynamic that you had with each other, but that comfort zone, that dynamic wasn't healthy, it wasn't serving you both. 10 of Pentacles. So this card is about being a good provider. Some of them, they felt as though they weren't a good provider for you. They may have felt as though the Divine Feminine, that you were giving them more than what they could give in return. And I just generally feel that they just didn't feel good enough. They felt foolish with the Fool in reverse. They didn't want to take a leap of faith towards you because they felt like they were out of their depth when it came to your connection. 10 of Cups in reverse. With that, this was under the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Tower in reverse. So yeah, there was definitely major upheaval, separations going on when it came to your connection. There was a breakdown of your connection, and it cast them into the Moon energy. They are forced down that path of the unknown, the scary path. Their shadow side was coming up. On both sides, I feel like both of you were resistant to truly surrendering. Like I said, I feel like there was some codependency, so the universe had to step in and force you both to face your biggest fears of loss and abandonment, but it was so that major healing could occur with the Star. But yeah, overall there was this fear of, from the masculine, of doing their healing work, looking inwards, but you are mirrors of each other as well. So it may have seemed very obvious how the masculine was afraid to do the inner work, but some of you realized after this Tower moment, you realized how you were in your own comfort zone as well. Okay, so what does the masculine want to happen with the Divine Feminine, please? Ace of Cups. What's the masculine want to happen? The Knight of Cups in reverse. So they're feeling deep emotions with all these cups. The Two of Pentacles in reverse. What does the masculine want to happen? The Six of Wands in reverse. Whoops. The Eight of Wands. And there's a Nine of Pentacles in reverse as well at the bottom of the deck. So they're wanting to offer their love with this Ace of Cups. They're wanting a new beginning. I feel like a lot of them felt like they missed an opportunity with you. And now they're wanting to receive that cup that you were offering them as well. And they want what they share with you to be overflowing, because that's what's happening in their heart. It's overflowing. There's the Knight of Cups in reverse. So I feel like they don't want to be this like charmer anymore. And by that I mean they don't want to be someone that's going to just give false promises and kind of lead you up the garden path to try and keep you there. Something had to give. It's so interesting that this the Two of Pentacles in reverse has come out where the Tower in reverse is, and the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Ten of Cups in reverse. Something had to give. It's like you were both mirrors of each other. You were both trying to make the connection held together and stay together, but it was like this unhealthy dynamic. Like I said, codependency. Something had to give. So something fell away, your connection, but it caused you both to be more honest with yourselves. It caused you both to release any of this pressure about wearing masks with each other, because Luke's got a mask on. That fell away. There's the Moon here. You were both forced to look inwards. There may have been a sense of you suddenly knowing your worth, and so you weren't willing to over-compromise anymore. You weren't willing to just juggle things that you didn't feel like you should be juggling. You put something down. So in terms of what they don't want this juggling either. They don't want the masks. They don't want either themselves or you to pretend to be what you think the other person wants you to be, kind of thing. They want true communication. They want to truly offer their heart. There's the Six of Wands in reverse. So they don't want to, I'm feeling they don't want to fail. They may have felt as though they fell off that pedestal that you put them on. They fell from grace, or you just saw them from behind the mask. You saw the true them, or you saw the truth. I wouldn't necessarily say it was the true them, but you saw the truth in ways that they were acting in terms of false promises just to try and keep you there so they could have more time. But they're afraid. They're afraid to come forward in case they're unsuccessful after this battle, after this Tower moment. They're afraid that you're not going to accept them. But they want this communication with the Eight of Wands. They want this rapid movement. They want this rapid manifestation. There's the Nine of Pentacles in reverse though. So this could be fears of being single, or it could be fears of true commitment, or it could be both. Like for some of you, I feel like the Divine Masculine is in another relationship. They're afraid of being alone. But they're also afraid of like a true commitment in terms of a true emotional intimacy. So some of them, they may be with someone else where they don't have to really truly reveal their true self, kind of hiding out in that situation. I'm not saying that those situations are totally unhealthy or bad. There may be elements of like happiness within that relationship, but there's definitely some kind of resistance or fear of independence or being their true self. So I'm now going to look into the Divine Feminine's energies. Shuffle this a little bit. My shuffling's pretty terrible. I've just dropped some. Okay, so how is the Divine Feminine currently feeling about the Divine Masculine? Judgment. The Seven of Swords in reverse. The Queen of Swords. The High Priestess in reverse. And the Seven of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, the feminine has the King of Pentacles. So a lot of the divine feminines had this higher judgment, and by that I mean they, after that Tower moment, it's like seeing things from a broader perspective, seeing things from hindsight, seeing the real picture. So this was a chance for rebirth for the divine feminine, and a rebirth of the connection. And by that, it was through true surrender, because I feel like a lot of the divine feminines felt like they were surrendering, but then after that Tower moment, it's like you can truly surrender. And I do feel, like I said earlier, that it was to do with knowing your worth, and something may have just like totally shocked you like into that awareness. So initially this may have been like harsh or ego kind of judgment of the divine masculine, but ultimately overall I feel it's seeing things in the true light, and rising up, having a rebirth, releasing all the burdens that were causing you to be like that Two of Pentacles, trying to juggle everything and make everything work and keeping the relationship afloat. And often the divine feminines have been conditioned by society to overgive, to the point of burnout, and not know how to receive. So there was major imbalances here. So major lessons learned about that. And the feminine, a lot of you walked away. And that's what really helped you with your own independence. There's this Seven of Swords in reverse. This is the card about deception, someone running away, trying to get away with things. So initially you may have judged the divine masculine. If some kind of truth was revealed, and like I said, it was like you may have felt a lot of anger and things like that, and so you were judging from that wounded place initially, but then you like recentered yourself back to your true soul consciousness, and there was this like conscious awareness, and you realized how you're mirrors of each other, and how you were also running away from the divine masculine, running away from true intimacy, because we are mirrors. And so when one is afraid of intimacy, it really does mean the other is. And often, you know, that is when we latch onto this codependent kind of energy. We latch onto the other twin flame. We look outside of ourselves for their love, their approval, their affection, anything that we didn't receive in childhood or we didn't receive in previous relationships. We kind of have this idealized version, especially with the twin flame label, that this person is going to be the one that's going to be perfect and love us in all those ways. And then we create these really weighted like expectations, and that energy is projected onto the twin. And then a lot of them try and feel as though they feel as though they have to live up to that. So they try to live up to that, but it's impossible, because no one can make us feel happy and whole and loved in the ways that we need to create that within ourselves first. And so that's why many of the divine masculines weren't taking that leap of faith and weren't coming towards the divine feminine because she had loads of those unrealistic expectations. And that's what she's realized now. She realized that she was wearing masks. Many of the feminines were trying to be what they thought the masculine wanted. So both were doing the same thing. It became this huge weight on both of their shoulders. It was suppressing like authenticity. It was coming to the relationship from a place of fear rather than from having that initial self-love, that inner union, which means uniting with your true soul self. So the feminine, she's feeling some regrets as well. She's regretting like all these unrealistic expectations that she projected onto the masculine and blamed the masculine for. Queen of Swords, seeing the truth, cutting the ties with the divine masculine through truly surrendering. And, you know, initially it may have been, again, from a place of anger and the wounded self, but now it's from a place of seeing clearly. There's the butterfly here, so there's been this transformation. Speaking truthfully, no longer afraid of losing the divine masculine, or no longer, for a lot of you, even holding on to the idea of union, meaning like a romantic commitment relationship in the physical. I'm not saying you shouldn't want that or anything like that, or that it's bad to want that. But a lot of you, you're totally fine with that, the idea of that never happening. And so that allows you to just be your true self, be totally free, totally surrendered, because you're no longer in a place of fear. You're no longer molding yourself or waiting around or anything like that. And you've released yourself, you've liberated yourself. And that's where you needed to be, like your true authentic self. That's what it really means. The High Priestess in reverse. So yeah, there's realizations that you were kind of kidding yourself in certain ways in the past. There may have been a lot of fantasy elements projected within this connection, living for the future, thinking, oh, when this person changes, then everything will be perfect. And they may well have been sitting there thinking the same thing. When the divine feminine changes and releases all these unrealistic expectations, then things will be perfect. So yeah, any illusions, like self-delusion, because that's often what the Seven of Swords in reverse means as well. It's like internalized self-deception. So again, highlighted here, focusing too much on the 3D in the past. So realizations and release of that, and we move into the Seven of Pentacles. So just like the masculine, the feminine is taking time to look at what she's investing in and releasing things that aren't serving her and investing more in the things that are going to grow. So the King of Pentacles as well, I feel many of the divine feminines, you're focusing on career, you're focusing on finances, on goals and aspirations, and I'm feeling a lot of enthusiasm, and you're working hard to create this abundance in your life. Okay, so what is the divine feminine currently thinking about the divine masculine? Queen of Cups in reverse. Death. These both came out for the masculine. The Ten of Cups in reverse, that came out as well. Oh, that one wanted to come out as well. the Page of Cups in reverse, the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Cups in reverse. So what is the Divine Feminine currently thinking about the Divine Masculine? She is thinking about how she was hurt. But with this judgment, with this seeing things clearly through hindsight, she's realizing that a lot of her hurt was actually caused by her own self-deception. Like in the past, many of the Divine Feminines felt like they had the right to expect the Divine Masculine to be a certain way, or to change, or provide her with things. And that was unrealistic. And we need to look deeper into where do these expectations come from. And I do feel it's to do with like social conditioning of the sexes as well, like the feminine expecting, obviously it's healthy to expect like respect and things like that from your partner, but I'm not saying don't expect anything good or anything like that, but expecting someone to change themselves and provide our happiness is unrealistic. So the feminine is realizing that this heartbreak had to happen. That tower moment, I feel like it had a knock-on effect. Like your heartbreak caused you to change your actions, and that caused the Divine Masculine heartbreak. But then it's all the illusions, all the things that were keeping you stuck and weighing you both down crumbled. So there's a realization that that transformation really was a blessing in disguise. Because I know how terrible it feels, like holding on to someone for so long and believing that your happiness can only truly happen if this person turns around and commits, and then you're sitting on the edge of your seat for months, for years, some people for decades. Like you're on the edge of your seat, like waiting for this person to make a decision and commit to you, and they're not going to, because you're not committing to yourself. You're not having this self-love. You're not honoring your own life if you're waiting around and thinking deep down, oh, my life doesn't really matter, because if I wait and when they come along, then I can start living my life. It will be worth the sacrifice, kind of thing. But it's all about energy. If you're like sacrificing yourself, if you're not honoring yourself, then you're just going to attract people and your twin flame treating you the way you're treating yourself. So the Ten of Cups in reverse, yeah. To me, this is like the fantasy version of union. Again, obviously with a twin flame, you can have a really happy, romantic relationship, physical 3D relationship with some of the traditional aspects of relationships. But there was this deep realization of the fantasy elements that were keeping you stuck and causing pain, because when we're expecting a fantasy to become real, then we think we can't be happy until that manifests, until that grounds. But if it's unrealistic, it's never fully going to ground. And again, there needs to be an important distinction here, that the romantic happy relationship, is not a total fantasy, but I'm just saying individual elements of, if there was things you were denying or sweeping under the carpet within your connection that weren't serving you, and you were just hoping to somehow that would be smoothed over and one day it won't matter, sort of thing, without doing the healing work. Page of Cups in reverse. So many of the divine feminines, you're seeing the masculine as this Page of Cups, where they were kind of offering you communication, because there's the letter here as well. They were kind of offering their heart, but they weren't fully taking a leap of faith like that. Fool card, but again, many of the divine feminines weren't truly, fully taking that leap of faith either. We may have convinced ourselves we were by doing certain things, taking certain actions, but deep down there was a fear and a resistance. And often that's why we are so attracted and caught up in these kinds of situations and dynamics, because it's safer to kind of keep things in an ungrounded way deep down. So the feminines, a lot of you were kind of thinking that it was kind of pathetic the way the divine masculine was trying to reach out to you, but then again, you're like realizing your own like side of the equation as well. So the Nine of Wands, she's the feminine's thinking, I'm staying strong. Many of you, you know, you have healthy boundaries up is what I'm feeling. Some of you, you may have walls up now towards this person. If you're still in a really wounded place where you're feeling a lot of pain. So some of you may have defenses up against the divine masculine, but for many of you, it's like healthy boundaries and you're just clear with yourself and you're like, no, I'm not allowing in this half-hearted kind of communication. I'm not taking that as a sign of like a full commitment. In the present moment, you're now like, well, you're seeing things in the present moment. If this person isn't here for you right now, you're not waiting around or anything like that. You're more of that Queen of Swords energy. So the Nine of Cups in reverse. So this is the fulfillment card. You feel like the fulfillment with this person, in the way that you once believed you would have that fulfillment in a particular way with them. You've released that, but I really feel like you're finding your own fulfillment. Many of you, you may have met other people. Some of you definitely have actually come into union with your twin flame because you've been through this and you realized a lot of things and you created your own true fulfillment. You truly released this person. And so then you truly were in a place to receive true union. And for some of you, it may have been unexpected. Like it just wasn't the way that you were expecting union to unfold and manifest, but that's the way it did. So what does the feminine want to happen with the divine masculine? The Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which is what the masculine had as well. What does the divine feminine want to happen with the divine masculine? The Devil. The Three of Pentacles in reverse. The Six of Swords. The Star. So many of you moved on with this Six of Pentacles. Five of Cups in reverse is at the bottom of the deck. A lot of you just felt like there was so much stagnation and going in circles with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Like it just felt like everything was taking forever. Everything just felt like you were walking through like mud or something. Like the mud was sticking to you. It was really hard for you to walk forward. It was a struggle. And this is representing your connection. Like you're planting seeds and it felt like it wasn't growing. But I do feel like the seeds were growing. It was just not in the ways that you expected. the Devil. So the Divine Feminine, I feel like some of you, you're still wanting like your masculine to be like attached to you. You're still wanting them to be thinking of you lots. But, you know, at the same time, some of you on a deeper level, you're wanting your twin flame to be happy. You're wanting them to move on if that's what's right for them. You're wanting to just go with the flow of whatever feels right. Three of Pentacles in reverse. So this is about working together and having recognition. So some of you, you may have been just trying so hard to make your divine masculine commit because you're wanting their recognition, you're wanting that approval, that validation. In reverse, you're releasing that. You've recognized yourself. You trust more in the divine, you trust more in spirit, you feel much more connected in spirit. I feel in the reverse position, for a lot of you, this is saying that in the 5D or just on a deeper level than the 3D, you are actually working, and always have been, with your twin flame, and it is to release like codependency, not just within your connection, but within your life in general. Fears about what people think, fears about not fitting into social conditioning, because a lot of that conditioning is really unhealthy. So a lot of you, you've moved on. You may be thinking about your divine masculine moving on, but you're wanting this healing overall, healing on a deeper level. It's really interesting, this 5 of Cups. In the traditional tarot, it shows the person focusing on the 3 cups that are spilt over, but they don't realize there's still 2 cups standing upright, representing the 2 of Cups card, representing the happy union. So in terms of what the feminine is wanting, no longer focusing on things that didn't work out, no longer focusing on things that created heartbreak, turning around, taking up the 2 of Cups. For some of you, that's a new relationship. For some of you, it's you're seeing your twin flame in their truth. You're truly like accepting them, just as you're truly accepting and loving yourself now. So then that's moving you towards like a true union with your twin flame. Okay, so I'm going to look more deeply in an extended Vimeo reading into what's going to happen within your connection, what actions are going to be taken, and the overall outcome of your connection. So I hope to see you over on Vimeo. Thank you so much.